Mauricio Gugelmin and Nigel Mansell, the three cars in front.
The problems that Jack alluded to that Robbie had in practice resulted in his going off the end of the main straight at least twice. I was out there and watched him. You know, he finished second here last year. It was his best performance of the year and the highest placing by the A.J. Foyt team that he was driving for. He's running seventh now, but he's well in touch with Mansell, who's in fourth.
So this battle for fourth place continues. At the same time, Al Unser Jr. is now beginning to close on Paul Tracy, and very soon that should develop as a battle for the lead. They're averaging just over 116 miles an hour. There comes Tracy through, already overhauling some of the slower cars in the field, and Al Unser Jr. is very definitely closing in.
Now keep in mind also, this is 2 1/4 miles around this track. A lot of corners, a lot of racing room. So when you see that it's taking this long to come around his lap to slow cars, because it's a long ways around this track.
And just remember that in the last few races, Al Unser Jr., who you see right here pursuing Paul Tracy, has gotten faster as the pit stops have approached. It doesn't mean that Paul Tracy necessarily slowing up. It means Little Al probably going faster.
You can't tell the cars apart because of the colors. But number 3 is, of course, Paul Tracy. Little Al is 31.
Mike Groff got restarted, now to the sand trap as well. Dominic Dobson continues to have some problems. Now they're official. They're going to give him a black flag, bring him in for a stop-and-go penalty, because under a local yellow flag, he passed Claude Bourbonnais. So a penalty being assessed for that. In fact, at this very moment, Dominic Dobson reacts to that, comes into the pits. We'll move back in the field. Michael Andretti as he chases Gugelmin.
Remember, these are
here. That's Mansell just ahead.
And remember, these are teammates. The car in front of Michael Andretti is ostensibly his teammate, so you have to be very careful in a situation like this. At the same time, he would love, Michael would, to get to grips with Nigel Mansell.
Well, you may call them teammates, but it is, after all, an interesting situation. Michael wanted to drive for a one-car team. So when Gugelmin came on board, it's a different shop. It's not even in the same location, both located in Indianapolis. But they really don't interplay all that much.
Well, in a sense, no. But Mo Nunn is now the engineer on Michael's car. And he was down talking to Gugelmin this morning. They were exchanging laughter. I think a few ideas went back and forth. I think we're starting to see that team come. And I know what you mean. They're really the same car owner, Chip Ganassi. That is the correct way to express it. But I think they're starting to exchange information in a way that they had not before.
All right, now approaching one of the key passing areas on the course as Nigel Mansell tries to protect position. So does Gugelmin as they line up almost 3 abreast. None of them get it done.
And remember, these cars have mirrors. They know what the guy behind him is thinking about doing. When a guy's going down in a turn like that and he sees the guy coming up on him on the right side, he knows he's going to attempt to pass. So he'll naturally scoot over a little bit to try to block him, even though it isn't technically blocking, just be in the way a little bit.
Just good racing. Michael Andretti continues to thrash at the back of Mauricio Gugelmin's car. Look alongside Gugelmin. Here comes Robbie Gordon.
Well, we just got through saying Robbie Gordon's going to be up there in a few minutes. And my golly, he was.
This is exactly what it's like. I've been privileged, Bobby, you have too, I think, to race on this course. This is exactly the feeling you have when you're right out in the cockpit.
All of a sudden, the appearance of Gordon in this battle has made it a 4-way fight. And we all know that Gordon is very racy and will do everything he can to get through.
You know, in that particular case, Michael didn't see. Michael was so intent on Gugelmin right there in the 88 car in front of him that he didn't see Gordon coming up. So it was a total surprise when he saw the car alongside. Very much the same as we saw in the camera shot.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes when you're trying to attack a driver. You'll drop back for a split second to get a better run at it. And if there's somebody right behind you, then you're in trouble.
All right, 16 laps are now complete of the scheduled 83 laps distance. Paul Tracy is still the leader. We've got some great racing going on at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We'll be right back. Miller Genuine Draft 200, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, on what has turned out to be a beautiful day and a great race. We ride with Robbie Gordon, who sits in 7th, trying to chase down the target car of Michael Andretti just ahead. Then just ahead of them, but broken off from contact at the moment, is Mauricio Gugelmin and Nigel Mansell.
And just so everybody knows, when they watch on this beautiful racetrack, all the black rubber marks, if you wonder why the guys aren't running in them, keep in mind, there's many different classes of racing. The Indy Lights just ran today. So a lot of the race cars make the marks. These guys, the Indy cars, will have their own group, Paul.
That is one of the nice things about Mid-Ohio. It is a very long weekend with lots of racing going on. The Indy Lights, the Formula Atlantics have been here. There's a whole number of cars of racing, and also it's a wonderful campground. Look at the line, Bobby, that Robbie Gordon takes.
Yes, in fact, we just noticed that a little while ago. Robbie, that's getting up into the keyhole turn where you really need to get off of that turn fast, because what do you have? A real long straightaway here. So he's decided he goes in on the outside where there's not so much rubber, maybe not as slippery for him, cuts across to the inside, comes out of the straightaway. He thinks faster. And he doesn't look too bad either.
He's doing it in a couple of the other turns, too, not quite as obviously. I talked to his mom the other day. She said Robbie loves this season. He loves the car. He loves the Derek Walker team. He just, of course, extended his contract for another couple of years with them. He said, you know, Mom, I would drive for nothing. I just have so much fun doing it. Of course, he's making a lot of money doing it, and a lot of people would pay him.
And he is fun to watch. You saw a moment ago as he came off the corner, gave the back end a big pitch and slid it around. He is spectacular.
And you know, we're starting to see Bobby Rahal catch up just a little bit, too. The black and yellow car right there on the left of your screen, that's Bobby Rahal. No one, as I said earlier, knows this track better than Bobby Rahal.
All right, we're watching now Jimmy Vasser and Teo Fabi.
Well, they're really going at it tooth and toe now. That's up the keyhole turn. They're coming off here now. Long straightaway, good 180 miles an hour.
Boy, you know, this could lead to trouble. Remember at Portland, Vasser left the door so wide open, and Michael Andretti came in and they got in contact. Vasser has a way of taking a very wide approach into the turn, a little like Robbie Gordon. And Bobby is an aggressive overtaker. This could be a volatile situation. I certainly hope not, but it could be.
So Teo Fabi, for the moment, was in attack mode on Jimmy Vasser. Vasser seems well aware of him now and is beginning to pull just slightly away.
That's 10th and 11th place right there. You can see how competitive or how hard they're racing clear back into the pack right now. Such a beautiful day, 7 degrees outside. One of the nicest days I could ever believe for a good motor race.
Remember, Fabi in the yellow car, the Pennzoil car there, had his great victory driving for Porsche here a few years ago. He was on the pole, led the race, and won the race.
All right, we're going to stay here for a moment with Teo Fabi. They come up through the keyhole as he continues his pursuit of Jimmy Vasser, and see whether or not, as they get down the long back straight here, they'll have an opportunity to close again and do battle. If you're going to pass down at the bottom of this hill, is the best place on the circuit to do it, but Teo Fabi is not in position to do so.
And these guys come off of that turn up there at the top end in 2nd gear. They go clear down through 6th gear, time they get to the bottom. So you can see that's really hard to get a run on a guy. You have to do it at the top end up there.
We come forward as we take a look at Michael Andretti and Mauricio Gugelmin continue their fight. This is a fight for 5th place. There's Bobby Rahal. There is that battle now led by Nigel Mansell, and Michael Andretti and Robbie Gordon are at it again. Oh, this is terrific.
What happens is Michael starts working on Gugelmin, and Robbie Gordon says, wow, I might as well get in there and mix it up a little bit, because it slows the two guys down a little bit. They have to get a little bit protective, but it makes it easier for Gordon.
Well, and Bobby, remember you made the point that Gordon goes so wide into the turn. That's giving him very high exit speed. So when the other two drivers get slowed up, he's coming off like a rocket. That's why he's getting up inside Michael.
Now you can see Michael doing the same thing right there. He's out wide. Now watch him come clear down to the curb. The idea being is you have to go somewhere other than where the other cars are in order to go faster.
Well, here's a key area now for all of them as they come slamming down the long back straight. Michael looks to the inside, tries to outbrake Gugelmin as they go into the corner. Gugelmin holds him off. He's not going to have any of it. Boy, that's some great driving on both drivers' part.
Yes, and that's the same place that Tracy passed Little Al going in at the start of the race. They got the green flag, and when you come out of that particular turn, you can stay high, and that's what Gugelmin was able to do to Michael there.
Notice that this battle is letting Nigel Mansell slipped just a little bit away. He's kept the pressure on. He's now got a fraction of a second over this battling pair. When you really race hard against somebody else, you basically lose time to your other competitors.
Robbie Gordon very definitely making up time coming in under braking. Acceleration against Michael seems about equal. Rahal very definitely closing in. Just a second ago from Robbie Gordon's onboard camera. Look at that.
There he had that exit speed off that turn. Decided not to press the issue.
Very upset, too, because
Yeah, get over. Get out of my way, Michael.
Yeah, but Gordon's driving a real smart race because he's not letting his emotions drive the car. He's being smart.
But he is very definitely keeping the pressure on Michael Andretti. We're at lap 24. We expect the first pit stops to occur in about 4 laps. Paul Tracy leads it, followed by Al Unser Jr. and Emerson Fittipaldi. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Introducing tonight at 5.
He is still the leader. Al Unser sitting about 1.7 seconds back, has been for some time now. But they're all beginning to anticipate pit stops, which should begin within the next 2 laps. But Paul Tracy, who picked up the lead of the race on the green flag from the pole sitter and track record holder, Al Unser Jr. And since that time has been setting a record pace at 114.8 miles an hour. The race record is held by Emerson Fittipaldi from 1992 at 107.3. We have had no full course yellows. That's somewhat unusual for here. It's been a nice clean race with a lot of battles going on, but nothing has changed in the top of the order since we've left you.
A lot of changing is probably going to start happening about pit stop time, and my calculations are right. Tracy should be the first one that comes into the pits. Then after that, it's going to be a lot of cars coming in. Then we're going to see things start mixing up a little bit and seeing more what the personality of the race is going to look like.
Paul Tracy just got around Jacques Villeneuve, so he comes up through the field. Let's go back to the 4th place car, Nigel Mansell. You're on board with him now. He's expected in shortly into the pits. He's got a nice clear run ahead of him. As he turns down on the backside of the course, will climb the hill into the carousel and then make his decision to veer to the right and continue on, or to the left and to head into the pit road. And he avoids the pit road, so he continues on. Nigel Mansell running in 4th place. Lola, Mansell drives a Lola. Lola scored their first win this year at the Michigan 500. Of course, that was Scott Goodyear. The Newman Haas Lolas have not yet scored a victory this year. This is the Honda-powered car of Bobby Rahal. You ride on the nose in 8th position. That's Robbie Gordon just ahead.
All right, now supposedly the Honda engine power.
And Paul Tracy, the leader, makes a stop. Gary Gerald.
Tracy, the leader, comes in. They were going to stagger the stops, but Al Unser Jr. has also come in as well. They'll wait 2 laps for Emerson Fittipaldi. This morning in the warm-up.